high-speed business at a record pace.
You get 70 miles to the gallon on this one. It's a ship that made the Castle.
Sure. Yeah. Okay.
Welcome,
Okay.
everyone. This is the Fast Ones coming at you live. I am Max, one of your co-hosts,
Hit the auto button and hold it.
and I'm here with my buddy Mike, who is giving directions to Kevin.
We got to help producer Kevin every once in a while. He's a real boy.
I mean, we've done this a few times, but that was pretty smooth. We're getting there.
Yeah, we're definitely making progress.
This is great.
Yeah.
This is great.
This is a good episode already.
This is going to be a great episode because we're talking about the Bahrain Grand Prix.
Yes.
That just happened.
And it was good.
It was good.
Dude, what was the hesitance for?
I wouldn't say it's good.
Yeah,
It was great. It was good.
it was good.
Yeah. It felt like a race.
On an F1 level,
Uh-huh.
it was really good.
Yeah, maybe I'm just super spoiled,
Right.
and I'm expecting every race to have 5 crashes and tons
Safety
of
cars
epic
galore.
overtakes,
Yeah.
and then way big upsets on the podiums.
right.
But this actually was a really good race.
It
if
was
it's just a
solid.
good Formula One race. Yeah,
It was solid, and I would say that one of the reasons that I thought it was really kind of different and cool
yeah,
is that in the past, I feel like we've gotten used to these. I kind of hate a one-stop race. Like, I think pit stops add variables,
yeah.
but on top of it, like, the tire compound usage was so mixed. You had guys on hards, you had guys on mediums, you had guys on softs, everybody was on a different strategy.
yeah,
And I thought that that was really cool.
yeah. How many pit stops were in Japan?
I think it was one.
Just a one,
Yeah.
and that one was pretty much a snooze fest.
It was a huge snooze.
This one, there was, I think each team took about 8 pit stops.
Yeah.
I lost count.
Yeah.
And it was crazy. And every time they took a pit stop, I was thinking, you're losing time. Why are you doing this again?
Right.
And
Yeah.
yet they were coming out in the top. Like it was all good strategy.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
I think that like this race was just so much more interesting than normal Bahrain races. But on top of it, there was lots of good overtakes. They were doing
Yeah.
a good job. There was good competitive racing.
Yeah.
Obviously, the other thing that we're neglecting to mention, which is what Kyle Marlin has already put into the chat.
Oh, Kyle, welcome.
Welcome, Kyle.
Kyle, if you're listening, did you get the hats I sent? Put that in the chat because I don't know any other way to contact you now.
Max,
Only through
Max,
podcast.
You are straying from the point. Straying from the point.
Just
We
a
will
yes or
get
no because
around
it
to
said,
the
it said
hats.
order was delivered.
We will get around to the hats.
Okay, yeah.
But Haas double points.
Yes.
Ollie
I
Bearman.
got my Chow hat back on, dude. Ollie Bearman, 20th to 10th?
20th to 10th. Who does he think he is? Lewis Hamilton?
Dude, I'm so stoked on Ollie Bearman, and he keeps
Rock
making
star.
me so happy. Esteban Ocon, crushing it.
Yeah, did
So,
great.
I'm very happy with the Haas team. I am now getting worried that is Ollie getting too good? That next year he's going to be snatched up.
Yeah, but where is he going to go? Yeah, but then he'd have to lose Lewis.
Yeah,
and
Lewis
Charles.
has a 2-year
Kevin
deal.
says he's going to Ferrari. I'm like, but where is he going to go?
Once
Where's
Lewis
he going to go?
Once Lewis spanks Charles.
Yeah. Ollie will replace Lewis.
And that's what stinks about being a Haas fan is that you build up these drivers and who wouldn't have any other chance at another team because they're
Right.
just rookies.
Right.
And then they're good and they're like, oh yeah, we'll take that. Thank
Yeah,
you.
Nikita Mazepin, totally.
Who took him?
Yeah, who took-
exactly. Good point. Good point.
Yeah, he was so good we couldn't have him.
Some of the greatest
Putin
drivers have come
took
from
him.
Haas. Roman, Nikita Mazepin, and end of list.
End of list. Icons.
Of course, I would never mention Nico Hulkenberg and Kevin Magnussen because they were good.
Oh, they were amazing.
They were amazing.
Epic. We
Yeah.
missed them.
Yeah.
Godspeed.
But yeah,
brothers.
double point finish for Haas, which
Huge.
is super fun.
Huge.
Yeah, I liked that race for them.
But outside of just that as well, Kyle just said, checking now.
Okay. Yeah, let
maybe
me know.
he lives in a place with a remote mailbox. You know what I mean? Maybe he doesn't know that the package was delivered.
Yeah, I get my
So-
mail like once every other week. 'Cause
He's like running out to the mailbox, got his key ready. He's
Mm-hmm.
gonna go unlock it. Right at the beginning of Alive, he's like, "We
do you
can
guys want to know how to
pause.
check your mail? Tune into the fast ones.
We have the hot deets,
The
on
recap on how to check your mail.
to check your mail."
Oh man, okay. I don't know where to start because we could start at the start of the race, which
It's probably the
had
natural
some drama
order of
before it
things.
actually started.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go.
Oh well, everyone was talking about how Lando was over the line and Max caught him.
Yeah.
I was impressed with how Max caught him.
Lando's out of his box.
Well, you can watch like Max's helmet.
Yeah.
He's kind of looking around, then he looks straight forward, and Lando moves, and he's like,
Yeah.
You just notice everything as a driver.
Especially when you're
When you're-
waiting for the lights, right?
Uh-huh.
Like your
Yeah.
reaction time and everything is never more spidey sensed than in that moment.
Yeah.
You know.
So that at first I was like, wow, he's really observant. I'm like, nah, this is them. They're on the edge. They're
Right.
ready to go. And they're watching their competitors because he's like, I have to pass this guy.
Yeah, totally.
Then to see him like,
Yeah.
it's just like,
He lurched and he's like, "Lando's out.
yeah.
Lando messed up."
I mean, Lando didn't have a good race.
No.
No.
In fact, actually, you want me to read a quote
Yes.
from Lando Norris?
Okay, yeah.
Well, that's my favorite quote. The Zach Brown quote, which didn't age well.
The era of Lando, more like the error of Lando. Did you just say
Yo! Zach Brown in Netflix's Drive to Survive. You might have heard of this.
that? Yeah, it's a little show.
It's a
Little
sitcom
indie show. It's a sitcom.
on CBS, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, a lot of drama.
But Zach Brown said, Senna, Schumacher, Hamilton, we are now entering the Lando Norris era.
Wow.
Which this hasn't aged well. And I'm
No.
so happy that it hasn't aged well. But here's actual Lando's quote from this weekend.
Yeah.
He says, "I'm surprised I'm achieving anything I'm achieving at the minute with how I feel in the car.
Whoa.
I'm not comfortable. I'm not happy."
Oh, geez. That sounds terrible.
This is ripped directly off of Motorsport, this quote. So I did not make this up.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Whoa, geez.
So you're
One,
disappointed and angry that you're in the fastest car, which
That has been built for you for how long?
pretty much
7
off
years?
of just your development
6, 5 years?
feedback.
Yeah, he's been only in that car.
Right.
Yeah, why would you be complaining?
Kyle's wife just said, Kyle's wife here, he is literally running to the mailbox. We have now confirmed what type of mailbox they are working with. So thank you.
I mean, is he trying to compare himself to Max? Everyone is saying Max is driving this car better than the car can function. And Lando's like, I got to get ahead of this story. I am surprised too at what I am capable with this car because it is worthless while Oscar's taking first.
Just do whatever Max is doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just like, simply lovely. And Lando's like, simply lovely.
Okay.
And he's like, Max is not happy with the car. I cannot believe what I am achieving
This car
in
is
the car.
rubbish. They're like, Oscar's winning. It's not necessarily the same
This
thing.
is the weirdest copycat game we have ever seen.
Yeah. Shoot. But yeah, he got penalized for being out of the box. And I feel like there was another thing during the race that was just like injuring him.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't remember if there was. I definitely heard him kind of complaining that he wasn't able to keep up. But well, he got the 5-second penalty for being out of the box.
Yeah.
And then I think he might have had a track limits warning.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, otherwise, like a fairly uneventful race for the dude at the front.
Yeah.
Oscar just disappeared.
Yeah. Crazy.
15 seconds, I think, is how far ahead he was at the end of the race.
Yeah.
Which is huge.
Man, there was a moment at the start of the race where there was like a quick flash of just fear on the horizon. When George Russell got a really good launch.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I feel quite concerned with
We're
when that
concerned.
happens.
I'm concerned that there is an evil growing on the grid.
In the form
And
of
George
a
is
Mercedes
getting
Benz.
better.
No, well, guess what?
But what my thought is
Okay, continue. Before I shatter that earth. I'm gonna Death Star the Alderaan on that one.
Okay, I mean, my thought is it's always darkest before the dawn.
Yeah,
And right now we're facing what might be one of the worst things in the world. a potential title of George Russell World Driver Champion.
I mean, it's possible.
it's possible, and that
He's
sounds
very
horrific.
consistent right now.
Yeah, we don't speak names of evil things because they might happen.
Yeah, you don't want to manifest that.
But like I said, it's always darkest before the dawn. I am
Yeah.
hoping Kimmy
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
steps up as the hero that we deserve and the hero that we
yeah.
needed
Yeah.
to overcome George Russell.
Yeah.
And I'm comparing George Russell to a Batman villain.
Kevin, I think you might have kicked this camera. It spun a little. Will you check that?
We're
live.
anyway.
Yeah.
He got a good launch.
Yes.
And then he was quick for a while.
Yeah.
Dude, the Mercedes is fast.
So fast.
And George is pretty good.
Especially on qualifying. I think that's like the thing right now is that like the Mercedes is really close in qualifying pace to the McLaren. But when it comes to long run pace, the McLaren still has the edge.
What do you think its failure is?
I actually think that this is part of that. I'm already forgetting, so I might need Kevin's help with this. But at some point during the year, they will be adjusting the regulations on how flexible the wings can be.
Okay.
McLaren is
I think isn't it
race 7. So
isn't it like super flexible? The
McLaren's rear
wings?
wing is like flexible. The front wing is super flexy. Everyone's made a note of that. So by race 7, they'll be changing that.
Okay.
And then there'll be way stricter rules on how flexible a wing can be. Yes,
Okay,
I think
so we're on the
Catalunya.
Spanish Grand Prix.
Yeah. So until that time, McLaren has a huge advantage because of this tech that they've developed
Yeah,
around
take
the car.
advantage of your advantage while you can. And just rack up points.
Plus, I've read that if the McLaren is in traffic, the way that they've designed that flexible wing is the car handles like trash. So Orlando's so far back behind George and struggling to be able to make pace. It's because he's in dirty air. The front wing is not performing the way that it is for Oscar. And so Oscar's
Is that how the
disappearing
McLaren is
into-
able to like
Yeah.
win? You just get in front, and
If
then
you're in clean
good to
air, that
go.
car is so fast. If you're in
Jeez.
traffic, you're in trouble.
Gosh,
So-
that's crazy that turbulent air from someone in front of you would mess you up that much.
That's why they developed this reg, right? Was to make it so it wouldn't do that. But here's the problem with regulations is the longer they're in place, the better the teams get at ruining them and making it so that it doesn't work anymore.
Regulations are made to be broken.
Right, they really are.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's effectively that word. Just rules.
They're just rules.
Yeah.
And they're meant to be broken. No, that's crazy. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, so Oscar had a crazy race result. And
So
was
that
super
helps
fast.
them in qualifying for sure, because obviously there's just clean air in qualifying pretty
There's
much.
definitely still times that you get some kind of turbulence, but it's definitely not as bad as the race.
Yeah, so if the McLarens want to win, if Lando wants to get a first place, he needs to qualify first.
I actually think that this is really similar to the Mercedes that Lewis was in. Because I remember whenever Lewis wouldn't qualify on pole and like Sebastian or somebody else would, I remember thinking that they really struggled in the pack. But whenever they were out front in clear air, that car was just like unstoppable. And I think that that's kind of a similar idea that they've adopted for the McLaren.
Do you think drivers who have been out in the front so long kind of forget what it's like to drive in the pack?
Yeah, Lewis.
Lewis?
Yeah, I think Lewis is kind of like, I feel those couple years in the beginning of the regulations with the new Mercedes were really eye-opening for him because there was a lot of crashes, man. I swear he ran into Piastri and at Monza, at the chicane. Who else did he run into? He ran into someone at Spa. Might have been Max.
I know he ran into Max at Monza and he put Max on top of him.
Yeah, that was before this reg.
Man, Lewis. Lewis.
What was that? Yeah. So baby F1 cars are born.
Oh, interesting. Man.
Oh, Kyle says he flew to the mailbacks, and these are so awesome.
Okay,
Thank you, my
good.
friends.
Yeah.
So we're
Yeah,
glad
there you
we
go.
can confirm. He got his hats. Way to go, Max.
There you go. There you go.
Yes.
Happy marriage. That's our wedding gift to you guys.
Happy marriage from George Russell and the Haas boys.
All good tidings on you and your household in your new marriage.
Very blessed state.
As two families have come together.
And as the houses shall merge.
I'll say that's a perfect George Russell impression.
Our George Russell is digressing big time.
Man, so this year I have been a little Lewis curious. Like I've been like dabbling my foot in Lewis fandom.
They call that Lou Curious.
The Lou Q. And I've been like dabbling in being a Lewis fan because I love the idea of the old guy switching to Ferrari and winning. That just hasn't been done before.
Right.
And there's something so like romantic about that story, and like what a great story to tell this year.
Right.
And he is not performing.
Not
I
having
thought
a
being
good
a
time.
Lewis fan was great. All I ever saw from Lewis fans was constant winning and celebrating.
Yeah.
And I jump on board and it's just him farting around in the mid pack.
Just kind of like
And so
Grazie.
I feel like I got sold a bad
Bill of Goods.
Bill of
here.
Goods.
Yeah. Okay.
And there's did you see the interview with Lewis?
Yeah.
Where they're like, hey Lewis, like fans are kind of waiting for like, you know, you to like step when are we going to start seeing some things? And he's like, what I would say is stop waiting.
yeah.
He's
Yeah.
like,
Oh
stop
yeah, I
waiting.
did see that.
And I think I can quote it pretty well. He's just like, I don't know if I'm planning on winning again. And I'm not a very good driver, but I do have a merch line coming out. And also in Miami, I'll have a new hairdo. So that will be something to look forward to. I think that's a perfect word for word
Yeah,
quote.
yeah. I'm not gonna win ever again.
Also, it was always the car and not me.
I'm running the gala again. So that's something to look forward to.
If you were wondering if it was the car, it was the car.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm proving it to you now.
Yeah.
So you're welcome. Come along for the ride and don't wait for me to ever do anything fun again.
Also a new album dropping with X Tina later this year.
Yeah, so
Yeah, I feel like I'm sitting here in the same boat, just kind of waiting for Ferrari's form to turn around.
yeah.
They're doing pretty good, and in fact, I actually thought
Fourth
that
and fifth this
yeah,
race.
Yeah,
So that's, you know, improvement.
yeah, and I think that like the strategy actually was decent for this race. I kind of feel like when they stopped again, I sort of predicted them to go to like the soft tire as opposed to going to the hard tire at the
Everyone
end.
was predicting a soft or at least a medium tire.
Because so many teams took that gamble.
Yeah.
And to see them kind of go to the hard tire, it was like, oh,
What do you think their strategy
what that
was?
strategy was?
What's the point of going to a hard at that moment?
I mean, the point is that they were really fast in that middle stint because they went back to the medium, started on the medium, and because they started on the medium, they could go deeper and do an overcut as opposed to the undercut, which worked. They were pretty fast, but when it came to the third stop, I was just thinking, yeah, go to the soft. Don't go to the hard. Everyone says that tire sucks. And then Lewis comes over the radio and he goes, this tire sucks. And he literally said those words on the radio, which I've never heard a driver say that bluntly. And I was like, okay, yeah. I mean, didn't we all predict this? Why didn't you try the soft? And Lewis is a tire master.
Yeah, he has experience with that.
Yeah, I feel like
Put
they
him on the
didn't
softs
really.
and let him run it.
But that's another opportunity. It's another learning experience for Ferrari to be like, yeah, in that moment, the debrief room, Lewis is going to be like, yeah, trust me to handle a soft. Because that would have been the strategy that would have gotten us a podium.
Man, this is what it's like being a Ferrari fan, just constantly accepting that this is another learning moment.
Yep.
We're learning so many lessons.
We're learning so much about how Ferrari has so much to learn.
Man, but it's a good thing I am stoked that Oscar is winning.
I know. Yes.
Oscar,
The
saved
Piastris.
The day. Yeah, he held off George Russell.
It's still my favorite thing ever that I remember we were talking about that very early when we started the show, Haas Boys.
Yeah,
And you couldn't remember
for the life of me.
Oscar Piastri's name. You even wrote Pietro on the whiteboard.
Because he's a guy, Pietro Fittipaldi.
Yeah, which was a Haas reserve driver.
Yeah, if you want to confuse me, Piastri and Pietro. Yeah, I got it down now. But yeah, it's a weird last name.
It is. It's
Piastri.
definitely Oscar Piastri. It's also the same. Oscar is my grandpa's name, my uncle's name.
Oh, okay.
My grandpa just recently passed away, so dedicated to him. But yeah, Oscar's crushing it.
Yes.
And I am so hyped because the last time, so he's close. He's what, 3 points I think off of Lando right now.
He's won.
It might be like, yeah, it might be closer. I think Lando's still in the lead.
Lando's
by
in the lead by like
two
1
or
point.
3 points, I think.
Yeah, Kevin
But
confirmed.
But anyways, it's like they're so like Mark Webber's the last Aussie to lead the world championship.
Oh, wow.
So this is a huge possibility.
By 3.
It is 3
You're
points.
right.
Okay.
3.
And Haas is in 5th.
Haas is in 5th for the team. That's amazing.
The amount of teams that are behind Haas right now is just the best.
It's amazing because all like the top 4 constructor teams or whatever, they don't see us as a threat.
Yeah.
And we are.
Guess who's in 4th? Ferrari.
Yeah.
The team that's just above us is Ferrari.
It's crazy.
Let's go.
Yeah. And so
I
we're
was
coming.
killing
We're
it.
coming.
Ollie, you're killing it. Let's do this.
Yeah. Solid team. They're doing great. 5th in the championship is bonkers.
Huge.
Yeah. And I don't see a lot of competition coming from the other teams.
I think Visa.
Alpine had like a surge of brilliance,
Yeah.
but shoot, Racing Bulls, Stake.
Yeah.
Who's that other one? Aston Martin. Where are they? What is going on?
And Pierre, wait, let's get around to that.
Yeah,
Pierre
yeah,
had
yeah.
a great qualifying. I will give him that. And for some reason, he's super fast in Bahrain.
Has he always been fast in Bahrain?
It is something that I think some
He
of his
just
best
knows that
qualifying
track.
efforts have
Yeah.
been in Bahrain. So I think he overcame some of the challenges of the car. Jack Doohan had a decent race. He finished outside the points.
Yeah.
But getting to Aston Martin, man, the rumor mill around Aston right now is like not good.
What's going on?
It's just that like I guess that like when they have a bad weekend, Lawrence apparently like shows up in the factory and is just like I'm gonna exaggerate, but like throwing things. He's making his displeasure with the team's performance very well known with everybody there.
Interesting.
And it's like Adrian's a part of the team, but Adrian's focus, as everyone has said, is next year. It's not this car.
Yeah.
So it's really an interesting place to be because do they want to dilute some of his time for this season or do they just want to be patient?
Yeah, I don't know. That's a hard one.
Yeah.
And it's hard when your owner is apparently furious.
Yeah.
That's not making for a good work environment.
I mean, I can't blame him.
He has bought every part of this team.
He literally built a brand new wind tunnel. I mean, like the
Facility
investment
and
is
wind tunnel.
nuts.
You've bought one of the best like drivers of all time to be on your team. You've bought one of the best engineers of all time to work for your team.
Yeah.
The investment that you're making and seeing this performance is dismal. and
It's Ryan
depressing.
Gosling when he's pissed about Avatar having the papyrus font and that SNL bit, and he flips the table.
Yeah.
That's Lawrence Stroll right now.
Lawrence-
and I think he has every right.
And Lawrence is mad that Alonso is not outpacing Stroll by that much.
No.
He's mad that his son is holding up to the world champion. Yeah, which is a weird thing that you could be that disappointed in your son. Here's the thing that I'm questioning though: is the car faster, and Stroll and Alonso both not capable of driving it? Alonso could be too old. Stroll just isn't as good of a driver as he could be compared to other drivers.
There's a theory.
Could you put a Carlos Sainz in that car, or you put a Max Verstappen in that car and get way more performance out of it?
It's always a great question because I think that there is some like the stars have to align between design theory and drivers' techniques.
Yeah.
Kind of as we've been learning a little bit about like what Red Bull and Max Verstappen's approach has been, that the car is really front loaded, front wing does a lot of the work, and the car is really tail happy. That's the way he likes it. But with that design theory, it is very specific to a driver who likes to combat oversteer and have a kind of drifty F1 type F1 car. So you put someone like Max in an Aston Martin, and let's say it's a little bit more of an understeer as opposed to an oversteer type of design theory, and he'd probably suffer.
Yeah. But when both drivers, I don't know. There is a question in my mind that Alonso, he's probably too old and maybe his reaction times aren't as quick.
I'm gonna say I don't think it's that.
But I'm saying it might be. That's kind of like how I'm leaning more. And if you don't have a driver who can like really pressure Alonso, then how do you know your car's true performance?
I would say that the way that I see it, because no one's driven more F1 cars for as long as Fernando.
Yeah.
So the way that I would say it is that Fernando's your benchmark for where the car's at. And where Lance is, if he's anywhere near Alonso,
Yeah.
proves at least that that's where the car is at.
So let me ask you this question.
Okay.
Is Lance Stroll as good as Alonso?
No, but that's
Well,
why I'm
he
saying if he's
is.
in a vicinity.
He
But
is.
he's as good as Alonso at driving the turd that they have right now. That's the way I'll
That's
phrase it.
what all F1 fans need to admit now is Lance Stroll is better or as good as Fernando Alonso.
He's as good as Fernando at driving a
all
crap box.
What we all need to realize is Lance Stroll thinks he's as good as Fernando Alonso right now.
Yeah, that's
That's
for
the
sure.
truth.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dad, I'm as good as Fernando.
Dad, do I need to get a haircut to make you think that I am Fernando?
He probably is.
Will you like me more?
Do you think Lance is going to start dressing like Fernando? Just like nice haircut, maybe a little goatee.
He shaved his goatee, which I appreciate because it was a
Yeah.
borderline creeper. But I think if Lance's next interview, he's like, "Yeah, I don't know. I don't think that."
We start to hear a Spanish accent
starting
creep
to
into
get a little-
the vibe.
And he's like, "The Aston Martin was pretty fast today." And you're like, "What is that?" And he's, "Oh, I've been hanging out with Fernando too much."
It's just rubbing off.
That's when we know he's taking it a step too far.
Yeah. Yeah.
Step too far.
Dang. That's great.
Yeah.
Man, but can we talk about something else during the race?
Yes. Yes.
And this is like we brought up Red Bull a little bit.
Yeah.
What is going on with their pit stop?
Oh my gosh, it was horrific.
Can you explain to like first, if you didn't see the race, they have lights that will indicate when they're safe to go,
And that's a rule now.
which I don't really know how that works.
Yeah.
So
all the
their
wheel
lights
guns-
weren't working, but how does it work? First of all,
All the wheel guns and the car jacks are connected to the light system.
oh gosh,
So when the wheels are tight and the jacks are dropped, the lights turn green.
so it's all automated. All the tools are the ones doing the lights.
Correct.
Wow.
And the reason that it was designed that way
had
is
no
because I think it was it wasn't Aston
It was a
Martin.
few years ago.
It was Mercedes.
complaining about fast pit stops.
Yeah, because Red Bull was too fast. You remember this? And
I
they
remember
were
this
like,
because I was like,
they're
gosh,
like, it's too fast. It's too
like,
difficult
why
for
are you
the
taking
drivers.
away this cool? This is one of the coolest parts of the sport is
It
a
was like
fast pit stop.
1.9 second pit stop
And this
was
is the
freaking
one point in
outrageous.
Formula One where someone's like, "Can we be slower?"
Yeah, yeah.
Where a team is like, "Hey, can we all go a little slower?"
It's much too dangerous. It's much too dangerous for the drivers.
Gosh.
You need to make it slower.
So then
You
we
need to make it slower for Chaco. Chaco says that the pit stop is too fast.
too fast.
You can't do it.
Oh, and then so we got this like weird Bluetooth sync system up with
Yeah.
tools and a light.
And it was not working with Red Bull.
Before, what would they do? They would have a guy with like I swear like a little like paddle that was like
Oh, the lollipop. Yeah.
a lollipop.
Yeah.
And it had like a sign that
The
was
lollipop
like, go
man
or
is what
stop.
they called it. Yep.
And then he would just watch when the team was dropping the car on the ground and like good to go.
Yep. Yep.
See, that seems very efficient.
If you were the lollipop man at McLaren, you would raise it and Fernando would just stay there. And just stay there and block Lewis from qualifying. It's one of the best moments in F1 history. But no, yeah, the lollipop guy was kind of the standard before. And in modern day F1, they were just, as soon as the car hit the ground, they would go.
Yeah.
There wasn't a light until Toto and Mercedes boycotted the pit stops and then they changed it.
So ridiculous.
But yeah, their system was not working. So on Max's pit stop, it was like 4 or 5 seconds or something.
They lost.
Yeah, tons of track
Crucial
position.
seconds.
Yeah, and then when they did it with Yuki, they like pulled a secondary one off to be like, okay, look at this one. This is what cracked me up. There's like a guy standing there with it, and then when they dropped the jacks, it didn't go off, and Yuki drove off, and was like, "What the f, man? Like,
Yeah.
why didn't it work?" So, and then they just after that, then they just still had bad pit stops.
Yeah.
At one point, Max was 20th.
Oh, yeah. I remember that.
The fact that
It
he
was
finished
Yuki's
6th is
front
pretty amazing.
Right wheel didn't go on.
Yeah, no, that was on Max. I think
it
it was
on
on
Max?
Max's pit stop that they did
Gosh, yeah, they just really
was
lost
rough,
in the pits
dude.
this week. Yeah. And then they came out behind a big crucial pack of drivers. Yeah, they lost a lot of positions.
that. Tons.
But that Red Bull still didn't even look that fast.
No, it was a rough weekend
Yeah.
for the RB team. Red Bull, excuse me.
It started like I start to think now that like I don't think we're gonna see a Red Bull champion this year
I don't think so.
at all.
Which,
We like because last week I was like, oh, Max is still driving this car like a madman. Like he could squeak out another championship. This week it seemed dismal.
and
That Red Bull could not get past anyone.
no, and that brings me to my next point.
Yeah, what is your next point?
I've been saying it for weeks.
Oh, that we should all go see Snow White. Because you won't shut up about how cool that movie is.
I am trying so hard to reserve emotions out of this topic. Disney, stop it. Stop it.
Stop remaking cartoons.
Real life versions of cartoons. I'm so sick of it. Okay, I'm going to come
I
to
was talking with a former member of the show, Parker, who lives in LA.
Oh, yeah.
I was talking with him today. And
How's he doing?
He's doing great. And I was asking him about life in LA, and he was like, "Oh, there's an earthquake there this week?
Yeah.
This weekend?"
There was an earthquake in San Diego today.
Oh, okay. And I made the joke that Disney had the earthquake happen to make a disaster happen somewhere else, to shift the disaster mode from Snow White to LA.
They're like, everyone needs to focus on something else right now.
Which is crazy because their marketing budget is that big.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
And they control the fault line.
They're like, well, we
They're
already
like, shoot.
we already burned down half of Los Angeles to bury the last bad movie. we gotta let's go shake San Diego like Snow White.
The PR is bad on Snow White. Can we just like get the attention to another disaster?
Yeah,
Earthquake now.
Yeah. Call Mandy Moore and Dawes. We'll do a tribute concert. It'll be beautiful. People will forget about this.
Let's get everyone to sing Imagine again.
Oh yeah, the Imagine. They're gonna get celebrities to sing Imagine. Kevin's saying.
I'm from LA. I can make these jokes.
Yeah.
That gives me justification.
I know.
right?
I have a friend who's from LA.
We're so off the rails.
Okay,
It's
so
great.
Red Bull
So
couldn't pass anyone. What were you gonna say? Your other point. Your final. Your
I've
point.
been saying it for weeks.
Yeah.
Max Verstappen is going to leave Red Bull. It's going to happen.
You have been saying this for weeks. Max
And-
Verstappen will leave Red Bull.
And this is the interesting piece of this equation.
Yeah, what happened
I
this
made
weekend?
a joke earlier this week to the dudes in our chat because what was Alonso's quote about Max? He's like,
he has a family, and so I will always win.
right, yes.
Alonso is German.
Yes.
in my brain.
He said,
I don't know the quote you're talking
He
about.
said, the championships that Max has won so far, apart from 2023, they were in a more fighting way than the last two eras of champions.
What do you mean by that?
Okay. This was Fernando Alonso and Max Verstappen via Autosport. Okay.
Okay.
This is Max Verstappen to Aston Martin confirmed. And here's my theory on this. Okay.
okay.
Here's where
This is
I've got a
your
doubt
hot
over
take.
here.
We
I've
are
got a doubter.
time stamping this.
Okay, here's the thing. Aston is hot on the tracks for sure. Everyone is. But Aston has Adrian Newey and Honda. Okay,
Yeah.
we already know this.
Okay, we have the
Right.
power supply that Max likes,
Yep.
and the designer
car
that
designer.
he's friends with.
Yeah, that also made him world champion,
Yeah.
right? But George Russell is delivering. As much as it annoys me, at Mercedes, George Russell.
You think that window is closing?
I do. I think that Toto's going to be like, I have to hang on to George. He's
have to.
doing what I need him.
I have to hang on to George.
Just that stare.
And then that hello darkness, my old friend, and just staring off into the distance with his headphones, pushing his hair back.
Yeah.
Hello darkness, my George will be world champion at Mercedes.
Michael, I just sent you an email. George is staying with the team.
Oh geez. Okay, so
So
the Mercedes,
Yeah.
Mercedes is might be closing the door with George, so Max wouldn't go to
and
Mercedes.
I don't see room for him with Kimmy, who's doing a great job
Yeah, they wouldn't pull Kimi, who they're investing in right now,
Right.
And who's crushing it.
and doing great. Right.
Jeez,
So
he's cool.
I don't think that Kimmy's getting replaced. I don't see George getting replaced because
Yeah.
he's doing great. George is really high in the championship, finished on the podium in almost every race. So I'm like, what? How are you going to pull him out?
Yeah,
Because all that would do is that Red Bull would it'd be a straight across trade.
yeah.
George would just go to Red Bull. And
Ooh.
I think that it doesn't match their brand at all.
No,
It feels very wonky and
yeah,
weird.
no. And George would hate being at Red Bull.
But I think Kevin's over here making noises. But I think that to me, the only way that this goes from here is that Max is going to end up at Aston. I
yeah.
know it seems far fetched, but when you put it, like when you see him in a different racing suit, where do you see him going? And I see Honda and Adrian Newey really wanting to make that happen.
No, I don't think you're wrong. And for the 2026 car with AJ Newey like pioneering that car, that's pretty great.
It's hard to argue, right?
Yeah. But then who leaves Aston?
It's not Lance.
That's insane.
Yeah. But Fernando gets to be a brand ambassador for the rest of time.
Okay.
And he's still a rad brand ambassador.
It's true. I would rather Fernando and Max be,
If Fernando and Max
teammates.
like Fernando shows up with his walker and still destroys Max, I'm here for it.
How many champion drivers can Lance Stroll be teammates with?
Apparently a lot.
All of them.
Apparently a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeez, that's wild.
Yeah.
And dang it. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I think you're right. I think
it's at this point, it would take George Russell blowing it at every race until the summer break.
Kimi steps up as the
Right.
hero we deserve.
Right.
And destroys George,
But
the true evil.
from what I understand, if Red Bull is lower than 4th in the Constructors' Championship,
Which they'll be.
Max has his out.
What do you mean? Like his contract is like
Void.
But he would just leave anyway. We all know that F1 contracts don't mean anything.
They don't mean anything.
It's just like who would buy him.
But he would be available. He would be able to negotiate actually being like, okay, I'm done.
Do we know how long Max's contract is available through?
I think it's kind of like, I think it was like 10 years. It was something ridiculous when
Yeah.
he signed, but there was performance stipulations. And that's because all drivers do that
Do you think Max starts tanking it near the end of the season?
on purpose.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I know Kevin's shaking his head no. I can see him. I mean, he is like ice cold killer on the track wanting to win. I can also see him just being like, tank it.
I could kind of see
Go to Aston Martin.
I can
like,
see where Kevin's
screw
at
all
on this
these
one.
guys and the FIA, like everyone that hates me. Like everyone in England hates him. He's like not allowed in the country or something.
Oh yeah. Well,
Besides like Silverstone.
He's like, I'm never going to an event in England. And it's like, how many events in England do you attend anyways?
Yeah, one.
Get over
The race.
But yeah, the race. But I think the problem with that theory that I see is that if the car improves and Yuki starts to perform, Max will never. He would never let Yuki beat him. He's too competitive. There's no way. So I think that he would be like, I'm here. I'm going to win this race.
I can see that. Yeah, for sure.
So,
But didn't he have some like comments after this race about how unsatisfied he is with the team or like not wanting to go to the team briefing afterwards? He's like, I'm not going. Like,
and someone asked Helmut Marko, they said, how likely is it that Max leaves the team or something? And or like, what's the possibility of Max leaving is what he was asked. And his response was huge.
oh,
Like, he's like, it's very likely right now.
dang.
And I'm like, that's Helmut Marko. That's his main supporter.
Yeah.
That's being like, yeah, he's pretty much got a foot out the door.
Yeah, that is
And the other on a banana peel.
That is the Sith Lord. Being
Admitting-
okay that his like trainee Sith is going out the door.
The Emperor is looking at Darth Vader going, are you going to be good?
Darth is like, I'm gonna go to the Rebel Alliance, and he's like, that's likely.
That's likely.
Our HR's been really low lately.
I knew you would do weak.
Culture at our company's been down, and Darth Vader is leaving because he's not happy.
He's
Product is not good.
He's been coming into HR complaining 3 days out of the week.
So it's not surprising that
And
he's
they're
getting
Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
and he's getting offers from the Rebel Alliance with a 4-day work week. We can't compete. Do you have any idea? They have a snack room that is stocked to the brink.
Adrian Newey has this really cool X-Wing coming out. We can't compete.
I want Darth Vader to just be like, I'm putting in my 2 weeks. And the Emperor's just like, do it. Do it.
You're too weak. Strike me down in your anger and quit.
Oh, gosh. That is exactly what the office is at Red Bull Racing headquarters.
And then it just snap zooms on like one
Yeah.
of the workers there, and it's just Dwight.
Have you seen that people have been able to, is it stills from Andor? and it's filmed at the McLaren headquarters.
Oh yeah,
Have you seen that?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's like,
That was so rad. It's a spaceport.
yeah, if you
But
want to
it's
know,
in the MTC.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
McLaren Technology Center.
if you want to know what the Red Bull headquarters look like, it's just the Emperor's throne room in the Death Star.
It's just Christian, just like
It's just, yeah, he just like turns around.
welcome to Malaya. Max, have a seat.
Oh gosh. And just like giant vats that go into nothingness.
Max is just sitting there going, and I hate him. And he's like, good.
Oh gosh.
Let your anger flow through
You know that they've thrown interns down that endless, bottomless pit into the system of the Darth Star. Interns that tried to
That's why
blow
Jonathan.
whistles
That's
on
why
all
Jonathan Wheatley left. He was like, "I've had enough of this. 13 was too many."
gosh. Okay. Okay.
All of their names, the people who were thrown down that.
Yeah.
Alex Albon, Pierre Gasly,
Daniel
Ricciardo, Mark Webber,
Yeah.
Sebastian Vettel.
They're all
They all fell down
all
the tube.
down, hanging at the bottom of the thing.
Father.
So it's
Sorry,
sad.
we'll
It's sad,
stop
but
with
it's true.
Stop with the
It's
Star Wars
so
parallels.
true.
At this
It's
point.
way too true, which
Yeah.
is why it's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know what we're talking about. Anything else from the race? Red Bull had some bad pit stops, and Max is going to leave the team.
Yeah.
That's all we know.
I think that's what we gathered. Haas had an unbelievable double points finish.
Amazing. That's the second one this year?
Yes.
Gosh, they're doing good.
Crushing.
We were so worried at the beginning of the year.
Oh, man. I was ready to be like, I got to.
Honestly, Australia threw everyone off. There was no accurate predictions coming out of Australia of what any team would do.
I was looking at Isaac Hadjar being like, maybe promoted a little too soon.
Maybe too soon. And we were looking at the McLarens being like, oh, they're not going to be that fast. They didn't really sail. Or they did.
Yeah.
I forget. But then like Haas, terrible performance. And I was like, oh, gosh.
Yeah, this is gonna be a rough
is gonna be
year.
rough. But no, surprisingly, they are doing great.
All of
not
the-
surprisingly.
Yeah. All of the predictions
Yeah.
were wrong.
Speaking of like Haas leadership, did you see Gunter waving the flag at the, was it a Formula E race?
keep your day job.
I love that guy. But there's times where I see Gunter and I'm like, maybe it's no coincidence that Haas is performing well now.
Maybe it's no coincidence that IL was actually the brains behind the operation the full time. We love you, Gunter. But it's become very clear where the talent of the team was.
Just wrapping the flag around its own. I was like, aren't you in the sport?
Don't you know how to wave a flag?
You've seen this a million times. It's like as bad as Tim Cook waving the flag at the American Grand Prix.
yeah,
And
yeah.
it just was the worst thing ever. I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. This guy's a nerd.
Yeah.
He has never seen a car before. He just lives in front of a computer.
He's like, I'm making a movie.
Yeah.
I paid for it at least.
I have to do this. I'm gonna do this. Gunter just like, I loved it. It was so freaking
So,
funny.
but the best part of Gunter is that he acknowledges in his face
Oh, yeah.
just how bad it's
Yeah,
going.
he's the
like,
best.
this is not going well.
Yeah, he's the best.
Big dumb smile as he's just blowing it.
If I was given the opportunity to wave a flag at a race, I would spend a week beforehand practicing.
You would think, right?
I would buy a flag, a regulation flag, and I would like be practicing my twirls.
You're like, I'm gonna go.
I
I'm
don't
gonna
get
go to
up-
the local high
Don't
school.
get up there and just freestyle.
I'm gonna go to the local high school and find the drill team.
Yeah, I'm
and
going
go to the
to-
coach and be like, "Can you show me how to do this?"
Yeah, you get it.
I don't.
You get on the color guard, and you do some scrimmages
The
with the
last
color guard.
thing that I want is to look stupid. So
Yeah.
color guard, show me how to not. That whole thought process is incredible
Yeah.
to me.
It's gonna be but Gunter's so funny.
Oh, so
Yeah,
amazing.
but no, Ayakomatsu is crushing it.
Crushing.
Haas has some good stuff ahead, which makes me so stoked.
yeah, we couldn't be more excited. Keep going, keep going.
yeah, yeah.
Ciao.
Ciao. I have to make this hat into a real thing,
And if you can't tell, I'm
or just
wearing.
keep this mod. This is a great hat mod.
If you can't tell that I'm wearing another one of Max's creations, I will post a clip to this later on.
The black on gray.
Yeah.
Ooh, it's great.
It's a Haas
great.
vintage mechanics jacket. It is very
Yeah.
cool.
A lot of bootleg merch coming out of the fast ones.
Yeah, that we don't sell.
We don't.
We don't sell.
We put them in mailboxes
Don't-
and hope people find them.
Don't cease and desist us for being charitable to our other Haas fans.
Yeah, you're gonna Yeah, you can't get mad at us.
Can't get mad at us for free.
Come at us.
Get at me, Gene.
Shoot. So any other final thoughts about the Bahrain Grand Prix? Or do we want to start talking about Jeddah?
Let's go.
Because Jeddah this week, that's the one.
This squiggly
The
line.
long, squiggly squiggly line.
This squiggly line in Saudi Arabia.
How long has this track been on the calendar?
I think this is
Is this
its
a new one?
4th year.
Let's say I remember this being new.
I
And
think
it
this
being
is
kind
the
of
4th
a
year.
brand new track. And it's very street circuity.
Yes, it was designed to be a street circuit, but it is a racetrack.
But it's a racetrack.
Yes.
Yeah.
But like narrow walls, high speed. It is one of the gnarliest tracks on our calendar currently.
Mm-hmm.
This was Ollie Bearman's debut last season when Carlos Sainz had his appendix out.
This is where he got points for Ferrari.
Yeah, this is where he finished 7th in the Ferrari on his debut.
Yeah.
After one session in the car.
Dude.
Gnarly. Proved just how good he was going
Man,
to
Ollie
be.
Bearman, can we just say how amazing his dad is?
It's the best, dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's the best.
His dad is so cool.
He's the best.
And just like a heartwarming, supportive dad.
Yeah.
I forget the quote, but
Yeah, it was like, oh,
Kevin
Kevin's got it.
Kevin has it.
Olliet's dad. That was a top effort, mate. Outstanding. Love you.
Yeah.
Dad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thanks, Dad.
Love you at
Yeah.
the end of the message. Thanks, Dad. Yeah, that's a great duo.
Just
And you know that it's just fueling Max Verstappen's rage for
Yeah.
Jos and his dad.
yeah.
Do they just does Haas just like send that message to Max?
No, like so Ollie gets like outstanding effort, love you, you know, and Yas is just taking his belt off as Max crosses the line
Max
in
goes
7th.
to his,
He's just
Max
like,
goes to his locker after the race, and there's just a belt hanging on the locker. He's like, "Oh gosh,
P7 is not enough.
yeah,
Not enough.
yeah." So yeah, Ollie Bearman's dad. That's a great relationship.
Max is still
So
at the
wholesome.
at the BP station just outside the track,
It's crazy. He's rich enough to not be there anymore.
and he can drive.
Yeah. Okay, so Jeddah. This is Ollie's
Yes, oh yeah,
first
Jeddah.
race. Cool.
Historically, for the past few years, has always been a really awesome race.
It's very tight, very fast.
Right.
So there's a very high potential of upsets,
Safety car.
crashes, safety
Yeah.
cars. Yeah, which
Yeah.
is my favorite.
Yes. Mick Schumacher had that snap the car in half accident here.
Oh, geez.
A
Yeah.
couple years back. But yeah, this is the Max Verstappen lap that was insane in 2021 in qualifying. And he hit the wall in the last corner, and everybody was like, "Oh, like that was the lap."
Was it when Max was kind of sick? I feel like he was
Yes. Yes, he was
slightly
sick.
ill,
Yep.
and there is the footage of Alonso watching.
Yeah, yeah. it is.
Max,
He's like bug-eyed
and
and,
he
like,
stops the interview to be like, "I am zoned in." On
yeah,
this.
yeah. I got to see what's
And
happening.
then he like biffs the wall.
And then he
near
hits the
end,
wall, and it's like
just on a flying.
yeah, Daniel
lap.
Ricciardo standing next
Yeah,
to him
Daniel
in
Ricciardo's
his
right there.
McLaren get up, and he's just like, both
Yeah.
of them are like, "This interview's not happening."
Yeah, yeah, we got to pay attention because this lap is nuts.
Yep.
And then it just didn't come through at the end.
Yeah. So
Crazy. Okay, Jeddah.
this track has developed a lot of drama over the years on the racetrack. It also had that missile attack in its first year.
Oh my gosh.
On the
See,
oil facility?
all the Middle Eastern races kind of blend together in my brain.
Well, because they're all at night.
They're all at night.
Yeah, yeah.
Kind of similar look and feel. When,
Yeah.
It's just
Saudi
a
Arabia
desert.
definitely has one of the best tracks out of all of them, and I think that just
Which
this
one?
one's
Jeddah.
Yeah,
Okay.
Saudi Arabia is
Okay.
where it is. So it's definitely one of the better ones out of like Qatar was built for MotoGP, so it's a great
Okay.
MotoGP race. It's kind of good in an F1 car. It's not as good as Bahrain, in my opinion, but Jeddah is just so rad. I am really looking forward to it. I think that because from what we talked about, even when I predicted that Oscar was going to be fast this race was because Bahrain had similar characteristics to China.
Yeah.
This one doesn't have anything in common with Bahrain or China. So I could see Max being a factor in Jeddah.
Okay.
Because there's a lot more high speed corners, a lot more of like real driver grit is going to be what this one's going to be capable of, where Max can show stuff. So I'm curious to see how it goes.
I mean, that was going to be our next question. What is your prediction for this race? Like, who's going to perform?
I think the Red Bulls will be quick.
Yeah.
Because they rotate well. So they're good corner cars. I think that straight line speed still will be a big part of it for some of this straightaway stuff. but we'll just have to see. This one's a big variable. It's kind of like Suzuka, but there's more straights on this than
I was going to say,
Suzuka.
this one has a really cool, really long. It's not a straightaway, but it feels just like a really long,
big left.
swooping thing.
Yeah.
And it just feels like it takes them forever to get down. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This track is amazing.
Okay, cool.
This is one of my favorites.
Right.
Out of the new tracks, this one is really cool.
Okay, cool. I have no guess on any predictions this race. I would just say that I am going to predict that Oscar wins the race.
That's my hope.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with some hope there too.
Because, I mean, it just takes one race and then Oscar is leading the championship, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if Lando is struggling in that car, or if he's just pulling a Max Verstappen, if he's trying to be Max Verstappen.
Or Bono, my tires are gone.
Yeah.
Poker face stuff.
Yeah. Man. Yeah. Oscar's going to crush it. And then Lando's not going to be the favorite at McLaren.
No.
Do you think he is right now?
No.
Ooh.
I mean, it's pivoting every day.
Yeah.
The more that Oscar delivers, the more that Lando goes into the shadows.
Yeah.
That's every race team.
Yeah. I guess. Where would Lando go if he had to leave?
Nowhere.
You serious?
I think that like maybe another B team. But here's the challenge. If you have the best car and you are finishing second to someone else,
Yeah.
you're Valtteri Bottas.
Jeez.
Once you're done with that team, it's over.
Yeah.
And it's like Lando has delivered. He's had good moments and everything, but it's like once you've been bested by your teammate,
Jeez,
especially
wow.
in the best car, it's like,
Yeah.
you could go race at Williams with Carlos,
Crazy.
or you could go to Haas, or you could go to one of these other teams, and you've definitely got enough grit to prove that you belong there to help car development. But I don't think another world championship team would take him.
Oh, crazy.
So he has to be able to prove that he can compete with Oscar this year. His
Gosh.
career depends on it.
And he has only been in a McLaren.
That's the other thing.
Yeah.
It's like the adaptability, and like when you hire a driver, like so much of like what you want from them is to gain knowledge about another
Like
team.
getting someone like Carlos to Williams is great because he has been on a variety of teams and performed well in those teams.
He's raced with every power unit.
Yeah.
He's
and
the
so-
only driver that has raced with all of them.
Oh gosh, you're right. Renault, Ferrari. Oh, what was his Mercedes?
This is now the Mercedes.
Oh,
the Williams.
Mercedes. But
Yeah.
then he was at Red Bull and
Yeah.
Toro Rosso, whatever.
I guess the only one that he probably
then
hasn't raced
McLaren.
with is Honda.
Okay.
So, but everything else.
Dang, that's crazy. Yeah. So he's very valuable to those teams.
Yeah.
Where someone like Lando, he needs to then learn that car. Like it's going to be a while.
Yeah.
Jeez.
And the funny part of this is that when he raced at McLaren, they had a Renault powertrain. They didn't have the Mercedes yet, from what I
Okay.
remember. So I think this is the first year that he's had a Mercedes PU.
Okay.
One of the reasons why it's taken him a minute to kind of get up to speed is
Okay.
that he's learning all the diff settings and the new wheel and all that stuff.
Carlos had a Merc unit when he was at McLaren.
Are you sure? Or was it Renault? Because there was a phase where they had a Renault power unit before they went to Mercedes. You sure?
Kevin's fact checking his own fact.
I want to be wrong, but I don't think
Yeah.
I am.
That's just another little bit of evidence on how cutthroat this sport can be. Because you could still be in the sport, but you could just not be even considered a champion anymore. And so you're not placed in a champion seat.
Right.
And Lando is fighting for his seat right now. That's crazy.
Every race, you're only as good as your last race in the sport.
Yeah.
When it comes to Lando, he's getting bested right now.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I mean, he's performed this year. He's definitely had his moments, but he's got to be able to pick it up, keep fighting, and really prove it.
Yeah.
It's a Renault power unit. Yeah.
Gosh, Mike. I thought I was on Kevin's side.
Photographic memory. I'm sorry.
I am excited for the cool down rooms to get a little bit more awkward.
Right.
They're still.
I mean, George Russell removed his shirt this week. It was already pretty awkward. If you ask me. It's like, put your shirt back on. What are you
the
doing?
McLaren's just like, what is going on?
Yeah. Like, didn't think the cool down room was for that. Like, you're taking it too literal, George. Put your shirt back on.
He's just gonna slowly get more seductive in those rooms.
Yeah. He's
Taking his shirt off and then just like pouring water. Like, oh, I gotta cool down. Let me cool down.
Is this what happened during the race? I can't believe it. How did you guys do during the race? Because I don't know. I don't know about you guys, but I got quite sweaty out there.
Why is the camera only on me? Just go to Mike. Oh gosh.
So
George is so sexy.
it's just so
He can't contain it. He's just oozing.
I can't keep it together.
Oozing sensuality.
I can't keep it together. It's not something that I'm doing on purpose. It just comes to me naturally.
He needs a better sponsor.
He does.
Yeah.
He needs, because like Carlos Sainz would be working that L'Oreal deal.
Oh yeah.
So we need to get George. What would he have?
Oh no.
Dove.
Dove. like what is like Axe body spray?
Yeah. Sorry. Why is Axe like perfect?
Takes his shirt off and just like starts
just
coding.
Like, just
Turn 5 was a bit hard this week.
just gets in the cool down room and there's just,
It's Phoenix.
it's just Axe Phoenix. It's dark chocolate.
that was mine. I had that one.
I had the chocolate.
Ladies like the dark chocolate. Did you know that, Oscar?
I blasted Taking Back Sunday while spraying my body with dark chocolate Axe.
Hey, Oscar, if you ever need help with the ladies, just let me know. I know all the tricks.
I know all the tricks.
Yeah, I'm excited for the cooldown rooms to get a little bit more
Kevin's
awkward.
giving us the wrap up.
Yeah, he's like, okay. If this wasn't live, we would cut this whole segment.
we've had too much fun this episode. Is
Kevin,
basically
what are
that
we at?
means.
What's the time?
We are at 1 hour.
Oh, wow. The time
It
flies by.
flies when we make fun of George.
Yeah.
It cruises.
Oh, okay, cool. Well,
Absolutely cruises.
so Jeddah will be fun this week.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It'll be a fun, fast, street circuity track at night.
Yeah.
Which is always fun to watch.
And I feel like this is a difficult track to like pull like a huge lead. I don't think that like that's as possible because it's just so high variable, high G-force. So I think we're destined for just a more competitive race.
Cool.
And there is room for passing because it's a newer circuit. So I think we're in for a good one this week. And again, I actually do think this race was better than Suzuka.
Yeah. This race was fun.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't like high drama, but it was a good race.
Like I said, I think we're just getting conditioned through like Drive to Survive and like Australia Grand Prix to be like I need
McDonald's
all
Happy
the action
Meals.
every single lap all the time. It's like, nah, get into the nuances,
Right.
follow the pit stops, and then you
Right.
might get a safety car, and that's a good race. Overtakes and one safety car. That's a great race.
Yeah, totally.
But no, I'm stoked for the race this weekend. Any final thoughts? Because I'm just going to say, like us, subscribe to us, follow us on Instagram, subscribe to us on YouTube, and check us out every week when we go live. Share this, rate us, review us.
Thank you for being a listener.
And then thank you for being a listener. Always jump in the chat if you ever want to send questions or emails. Send us some stuff on Instagram, and we'll respond to it.
Appreciate it, guys. We'll see you next week.
Okay.
See. Push the pink button at the top. No, not that one. Not that one. The button over there.
Again,
Over
we
there.
have
Over there. It's a clip
open
button.
resumes for the new producer. If
It's at the top of that menu on the side.
please
There's a
send
clip
in
button.
your resumes for podcast producer.